Hi and welcome to Los Angeles English School YouTube channel. I'm Helen and today we're going to be talking about the present simple. And in general, I've decided to make a series of videos on tenses. And today we start off with the present simple. So, what are the cases of the usage of the present simple? And we have the case number 1. It's we use the present simple to talk about repeated actions or habits, something that happens normally, usually in our lives. For example, I always use my phone in class. It doesn't mean that I use it to chat with someone or to send messages or to sit in my social networking sites. No, I use my phone when I need a dictionary, when I need to find some information and I go on the internet. So this is my usual habit. Again, I use my phone in class. So I use the present simple because this is something that happens normally, and this is my habit.
When do you usually wake up anyway?
Around 9 or 10 a.m.
Do you dream?
Sometimes.
But I write all day. I usually start in the morning after I get up, drink coffee, read the New York Times, read the LA Times.
So we took a look at the most common case of the present simple. Let's also take a look at the form. So how to make present simple. For the positive sentences, for example, my sentence was I use my phone in class. For I, you, we, they, you will say use. You would use the verb in its infinitive form without to, so bare infinitive. I use, you use, we use, they use. If we have he, she, or it, you would add s to a verb, or you would add es to a verb. He uses his phone, she uses her phone, and it uses. So you would normally not say it uses, of course, because it's for things or sometimes animals, so you would say something like it usually works in my class. Let's look at negative sentences. So you would say I don't use my phone, you don't use, we don't use, and they don't use. For he, she, and it, you would say doesn't. He doesn't use, she doesn't use, and it doesn't use. In order to make a question, if it's yes or no question, you would start with the helping verb or auxiliary verb do or does. For I, you, with they, you will start with do. Do I use a phone? Do you use your phone? Do we use our phones? Do they use their phones? And if you have yes or no question, the tone of your voice will go up. So you will use rising intonation. So do you use your phone in class? Okay. So if we have he, she, or it, you would say does. Does he use his phone? Does she use her phone in class? Does it work in your class? Does it work in your class? Don't forget that your tone of your voice should rise when it's yes or no question. If you want to make a question with a question word, so it's called WH question. Why is it called WH question? Because many questions in English start with WH, but it's not always actually. It can be not only WH, but anyways, they are called WH questions. So the question that requires not just yes or no, but it requires some specific answer. So you would start with a question word. For example, what do you use in your class? And if you have a WH question, you stress the question word, and then the tone of your voice goes down. So it's not rising, but it's falling. So, for example, what do you use in your class? What do you use in your class? So you can see that it's falling. What do you use in your class? What does he use in his class? What does he use in his class? What does she use in her class? What does she use in her class? All right, so when we recycled the form of the present simple, let's move on to the next case. So, case number 1, as I have already said, it's for usual and everyday habits or routines. I normally use my phone in class. Case number 2, it is for actions which are true for a very long time and also laws of nature. For example, he works as an electrician. So it's something that stays true for a very long time, or I work as a teacher. For laws of nature, for example, you can say bees make honey, or sugar dissolves in water.
Sugar dissolves in water. Our body uses sugar as a very rapid energy source because our liver can dump sugar into our bloodstream and it travels, bingo, to the muscles.
In all these cases, you would use present simple. You would also use the present simple for something that's on the schedule, even if you're talking about the future. For example, you can ask me, when does your class start? Even if you're thinking about the future. Or when does the conference begin?
The news conference today begins at 1 p.m. Central Time, 2 Eastern, and Expedition 36 launches from the Baikonur Cosmodrome in Kazakhstan on March 25.
Or the train arrives at 5. So something that's on the schedule is also used in the present simple. We also use the present simple to talk about sport commentaries, some reviews, narrations, or headings or subheadings in the magazines or newspapers or in the books. For example, the sport commentary, you would hear something like, the football player runs along the field and he kicks the ball and scores.
She sees Coughlin make a run and serves up a tremendous diagonal ball. Coughlin is onside, into the box, she scores! Superb finish from Rebecca Coughlin, 1-0 Howard.
So it doesn't have to be in the present continuous. You can hear it in the present simple. So sport commentaries, reviews, narrations, and headings or subheadings in books, magazines, or newspapers. There are also some special verbs which are called state verbs, and normally these verbs don't take present continuous, and actually they don't take continuous normally. Of course, there are some exceptions, and we are going to look at these exceptions a little bit later, not in this video. But most commonly, you will not use continuous with state verbs, and I'd like you to take a look at all possible variations of them. So these can be verbs of emotions, like prefer, like, dislike, enjoy, love, hate, care, want, wish. For example, you would say, I prefer an aisle seat when I go to the movies, or I dislike the smell of onions. So you wouldn't say I'm preferring or I'm disliking. The verbs of senses: hear, see, smell, look, sound, taste, hurt, or ache. So you would say, my tooth aches, or you would ask, does it hurt, or it sounds nice. Verbs of mind: know, believe, remember, forget, understand, realize, suppose, mean. For example, you will ask, what do you mean? Or do you realize how important it is for me? Or sorry, I don't remember your name. Verbs of possession have belong, own, or possess. So you would say, I have 2 kids, or it doesn't belong to you, or he owns a nice apartment. You wouldn't say he's owning or I'm having 2 children normally. So in some other verbs like fit, contain, include, cost, need, depend, appear, be, matter, suspect. So normally they will not take continuous form. For example, it doesn't fit me, or this salad contains lots of vitamins. So let's recap everything. We use the present simple for actions, number 1, that happen usually normally for our habits and everyday routines. Number 2, for actions which stay true for quite a long time and laws of nature. Number 3, for schedules, events, conferences, meetings, something that is on our schedule, even if we are talking about the future. For sports commentaries, narrations, headings, and subheadings. And now I encourage you to practice. So write down your own sentences to each rule, and I encourage you to leave your sentences in the comments below the video. Thank you very much for your time and for watching this video, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel and press the bell in order to get announcements about my new videos. And I wish you have a great one. Bye!